Yeah, what's up, Gooners? Arsenal draw 1-0 with Victoria, and I covered the game on matchday commentary for you guys on 101, and it was a very difficult game to cover because all this does is show the type of negative tactics that this manager is giving this team. I've tried my hardest to support this manager and cover for him and look at the positives, which you guys know I do. This is a positive YouTube channel. But I can't see nothing that's positive about these performances. This is my third prediction in a row, by the way, that I've got right. I went for the Crystal Palace game, which I got correct. I also got the Wolves game correct, and I predicted that the Victoria game would be a 1-1 draw, and that was correct. So it's almost as if I'm reading this team with no solace. I mean, we're not able to maintain a lead, and we're not scoring enough goals, and it's really bad right now, guys. The lack of identity, the lack of tactics, the lack of understanding with what the manager wants has got to a point now where the players have literally just given up. They're running around like headless chickens. They have no idea what they're doing. A few times players were trying to get instructions from the manager on the sideline, seconds later just going back to just try to understand what was going on. It just looked really despondent, and I think that this is probably the end for Emery, because we really can't see any way. Let's tell you how bad this is. So you have nearly 600 passes. I believe it was 589 passes. You dominate possession. You're 88% passing accuracy, and you've had one shot on target, which is obviously Mustafi. So imagine that, guys. You've had 589 passes. 589. And the only chance that you guys get is the header. I believe you had there were 6 corner kicks. There were 6 corners. And just one shot on target. How negative is that? That is about as negative as football as you can get. There is nothing. It's completely mindless what's going on there. It's devoid of any tactics. To be honest, they were lucky to even be ahead 1-0. Victoria should have scored at least 2 goals before that. The woodwork is really what saved Arsenal, to be honest. The one thing that's really disturbing about in the way, the manner that Victoria came back, it was just utterly mind-blown, heads gone defending. There was nobody closing down the cross, just people standing off it. I just don't get why we do that. That's on the practice field. If you're not telling your players to close down and block crosses, then you're just going to be susceptible. This is now the second goal in a week now that we have let in late in the game from a corner, from a cross. Yeah, the same thing happened with Wolves. And there's nobody challenging. There's nobody closing down. There's nobody boxing out. You know, in sports, you've got to box out. Okay, you've got to put a body on a striker in a box and body him out. But the worst thing about it is they had only a couple of players from Victoria in the box. One who headed the corner backwards, and the guy who did the overhead side kick who scored. Now, the worst thing about this is you had 7 Arsenal in the box, none of them picking up these players. None. And what makes it worse is, where the goalkeeper's standing, Martinez, you've got 4 yellow shirts standing behind the goalkeeper. 4 yellow shirts standing behind the goalkeeper. 2 of the Arsenal's players were actually standing. I just can't even believe I'm even saying this. 2 of the players were actually standing beyond the line, which was out of play. How could you even think to you're not even man marking or attacking or putting a body on the player. You're giving Victoria as much space as they want to play. So you're not challenging players one-on-one. Yeah, you're not man marking. But you're not even standing on the pitch. You're standing off the pitch. Off the pitch. Behind the goalkeeper. Yo, the goalie's supposed to be, unless he's coming for the ball, of course, to punch it or whatever, which none of our goalkeepers seem to be doing these days. But your players that are supposed to be defending are just standing around like headless chickens with no idea whatsoever. I just don't know what's going on. We are a complete and utter failure from a defensive standpoint. We haven't got a clue. There's no structure. I'm shocked. It's gone beyond comprehension now. This team has not been fixed since Wenger left, because the same things are happening every week. The same mistakes, crosses not being closed down, headers not being challenged. We're getting out jumped in the box for headers. We did against Wolves, and there was no one standing next to this guy who headed it back on. It's just really poor. This is not even schoolboy level. I don't know what level this is, but we can't call this defending. We can't. We can't call it defending in any word of the sense. We can't call it defending. And from that standpoint, you've just lost everything. You've just completely lost everything. And the one positive thing from the game, though, was Pepe's fantastic set pieces again. Remember Socrates and Luis, remember him setting up the goals for them from corners. And another corner finds itself on the head of another centre-back. So that's David Luiz scoring from a header, Socrates scoring in the box as well, Mustafi scoring from a header. Pepe now has 3 goals and 4 assists in the first 3 months of the season. That's a really good return. That's the return that we wanted from him. But if you take that out, guys, what's going on with our strikers? The heat mapping actually showed that one ball was played into the box, which is why we didn't create any chances or why we didn't have any shots on goal. The strikers are on scraps. No one's playing them through to create any chances. I just don't know what's going on right now. It's completely shriveled up. It's dried up. It really has. And I fear for this team badly against Leicester. I mean, that's truly going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I know I've already talked about the Leicester game next week, and I've gone for Leicester 2, Arsenal 0, but I'm being nice. I'm being positive with that scoreline, because this team looks like that they're going to be beaten 3 or 4-0. They really do. They're not creating nothing. They're not scoring much goals. Their strikers are starved of any service. They're not defending well. And Leicester really run at you. And we don't deal with defenders who are running well at us. Guys, man, this is really, really bad. And it has to be changed. And the reason why I wasn't Emery out before is because I felt that he had a chance to change this. But I do go on the agreement that it needs to change now so we have a hope. Why wait now and then roll into oblivion for this season and finish outside the top 4 and not win anything, when we can start building blocks and repairing the damage that's being done and start changing the mentality and expecting more from the players? Well, not just that, but because of the language barrier, let's just start to get a clear, clean message through about what we're supposed to be doing on the pitch. I think that's the start. And then let's play in a formation that everybody knows their roles and understands. And let's be strict with it as well. Let's manage that formation. And just let's get back to some normality. At the moment, it's just shocking. It's embarrassing. Really it is. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Leicester's up next. And the scoreline is... I'm not looking forward to it. And you know what? You wouldn't put it past this team to go there and win. That's the type of stuff that normally happens with Arsenal. It's like just when they bring you right down to your knees, they pop out a performance. It's just like, whoa, where did that come from? But I really can't see any conceivable way that they can win against Leicester. But, you know, this is the Premiership, man. Shit happens. And, and you know, these guys have got the ability in them to turn Leicester over. I just have no confidence in them to do that. So, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. Peace out. Thanks for your support, man. and right back at you.